Hello, Salvadoran warrior here to talk about Hecahands. Again, I'm late to the party once again, and I took that long break from Master Duel because, as you saw from our previous videos, I've been playing Genesis a lot. And I mean a lot. It's so much it makes me sick. But the best part was that in my recent video, I got to talk about how well I did at at my previous regionals. I topped an event. It was a big deal in my life at the moment, and I was so happy to have topped an event with this deck. So as you see right now, this is everything that I added. And just so you know, the ashes, all the non-engine, the hand traps, was not in my Genesis deck. But I might have to consider because, there was new stuff that came out in Chaos of Origins, and it's making Genesis a little bit exciting and maybe a bit frustrating. But like most things, I like a challenge, so I'm not too salty about it. Unlike if I was on the other side of the fence, advanced format, where it's just really insane. Everything is just broken, and it can cause you to quit the game maybe. But for Genesis, not so much, because like most things, there are just hurdles, challenges to get over things, and without having to think about the hand traps, but mostly thinking about the board, is what makes things exciting. But I might have to consider adding hand traps because, non-engine will give you the advantage that you might need to get you games. But like I told many people at my locals, I've been grinding this deck since the beginning of 2026. So Hecahands in real life has been the deck I've been bleeding, sacrificing time and a whole bunch of other things that I might have sacrificed just so I can play this deck better. And there are some things that I'm willing to improve. There's only one issue. This is Master Duel, and grinding for UR points and gems is hard. And I say that because before I took a break from Master Duel, I used my UR points and other stuff for the Dark Magician stuff, and unfortunately, I couldn't learn it. It's hard, man. I don't know how you do it, but Light and Darkness, that fixed everything, and I'm not gonna fall for it again, man. Despite what people have said otherwise. Yeah, I'm sure. It's really good now, but I don't want to fall for it again, knowing my luck. So I'll just stick to Rogue, which is Hecahands. Hecahands Chimera, mostly. This is a deck that, again, I've grinded really hard, and I've seen a lot of success with, some failures, especially this card right here. I'll talk about this card later. But for now, everything else has been like very impressive, and I've had a lot of fun. And with the new archetype, that is, well, monster type, illusion, it took me a while to understand the monster type, and by the time I understood it, a lot of people would always come up to me and tell me they don't understand it, and every time they would see my plays, they'll be like, I don't know what your game plan is. But like I always tell my friends, they may not know what my plan is, but I know what my plan is. And this is a deck that, again, I keep glazing because it's part of me until I pick up a new deck. But no matter what happens, this is Old Faithful. This is my deck, my heart and soul. The Yugioh deck, as most people would like to call it. So before we start, from here on out, it will still be Genesis in real life. I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I am making a deck that is completely unknown to me, and I'm gonna start practicing it after regionals in Vegas. And after that, we'll see what happens. This will still be my main deck, no matter what happens. It's just, I want to play something new, because playing the same thing over and over again will cause you to have burnout. And I will eventually, well, if I keep on going, I will eventually take a break from Genesis, not play, and who knows how long it'll take me to come back. So without further ado, let's go quickly through the deck profile. I know I yapped a lot. So we're playing lots of non-engine. As you see, we're playing 45 cards in the deck. That's my maximum. 40 is where I want to be at. 42 is kind of pushing it. 45 is where I draw the line. And thanks to that, we have to play non-engine because, you know, a lot of hand trap stops this deck. You know, you play Mirror Sword Knight, activate the effect, Ash. You summon this guy, get your 2 cards, Drill. Even if you bring this guy out, Imperm. And, you know, she can get Imperm too, Ash too. These 2 cards will get you Ashed, and it goes back to the deck because of cost. And then after that, that's it. You can't do anything. This is my gamble card. This is my extreme gamble card. And this is where I don't have anything. This is the only card that has a quick effect on my opponent's turn. So that's cool. Same thing with where is he? Xeno. Xeno's the quick effect. So yeah, these are the only 2 Hecahands cards that has quick effects. But Dodo's quick effect is not as good as Xeno's quick effect, so we have to deal with that. We are running Ultimate Slayers like in our Genesis deck. We're also running Mutiny in Sky because it's really, really good. And we're also running 2 Nightmare Hands because when you send Yada or Itis to the graveyard, they do things. And this is the perfect quick play spell that will allow us to do that. But yeah, like I said, we're playing 2 Drills, 3 Ashes, 1 Karakura Divine Incarnate. This card I really love playing. It's my favorite. Same thing with 3 Imperms. It's not a lot, but Ultimate Slayer is our it's our card. We needs it. And then we got the extra deck. Now, it's the same as it is on Genesis in the past. I made an update because at my locals, Goblin's Crazy Beast is not crazy enough for me to win me games, or at least buy me some time to turn the game around, because it would either get sacked, it'll get destroyed anyway. A lot of things will happen, and it will cause Crazy Beast to just not be a crazy beast. It'll just be a goblin, not even a beast. So unfortunately, I had to make a decision to cut this card out of my extra deck in exchange of adding a 3rd Hecahands, Jesus. Adding a 3rd Hecahands Jesus might be ideal, or since I'm planning to cut Nightmare Apprentice, since she's 20 points, to just 1 Nightmare Apprentice. I have a whole bunch of non-engine stuff that I can add. And then I can take out Duke of Demise for a 2nd Dandalos. This card is just really, really, really good. Having to take control of your opponent's monster and to attack directly with your controlled opponent's monster is nuts. And it doesn't go back to the opponent's field. So that card's good. I think this card is really, really, really good. So those are the 2 decisions I'm making. Take out Crazy Beast for Jesus, a 3rd one. And we take out Duke for Dandalos. And the only mutant in the sky target is going to be loose. This card's also good too. But with that aside, that's my plan. Oh yeah, and we're running 1 Phoenix Rhino. Having 3 in the past was kind of good, but now that the game is starting to quicken its pace, I can't experience the luxury of just playing 1 Rhino on the field and hope to God that it won't get destroyed until I come up with a plan. Running 1 was necessary so I can make room for other cards that I wanted, like DD Crow. That's the new card in the deck at the moment. Running 3. I had to take out 1 Nightmare Hands so I could run DD Crow. But I'll talk about my game plan for this upcoming regionals in Las Vegas, and I'm hoping to top an event again. If I can't do it, it's okay. I'm also planning to play a different deck if I lose the first flight, because if I go in there with a second, I'm gonna go in there with a different deck, and it's much toxic than any other deck I've played before. I'll give you a hint. I'm gonna attempt to play Runics with something else on the side, and if I play it right, I could give my opponent a hard time, or based on how long it takes, which is both DQ. I mean DQ, we'll both lose the time. Whatever happens, we both die. But enough about the game strategy. Let me show you some replays, and hopefully you can see the internal struggle that is Hecahands Chimera. I love this deck, but my opponents, well, how would you feel if your shit got taken away? Alright, so we're gonna look at a couple of matches. Oops. We're gonna look at a couple of matches for Hecahands Chimera. So, this is when we were starting off, still trying to experiment with a few things. And of course, we're going first. We activate Iptis, and it gets ashed. And since it got ashed, I can't activate it. So I'm gonna put Yugioh in there, get that, set, activate Hecahands, and then search for Brutus, set one of the best counter traps, remove hidden Hecahands for them to draw 1, discard 1, which will proc Brutus, and this is where I gamble. Do I get the monster? Of course. Now I get to pop off by contact fusing with Jesus. As soon as Jesus is on the field, we're going to search for the other counter trap card, set Imperm, and turn. So now we got 3 interactions with a hand trap. Activate Hollowed Azamina, and since I'm familiar with the archetype, I'm going to negate it. And once I negate it, I'm going to set it to my side of the field. And of course, they try searching, I use Ash, and by the time that happens, I quit. Alright, so that was the baby plays. When I started climbing the ranks, this is where things got really, really interesting. And of course, I had to think about this. And of course, I'm going first once again. And I said to activate Hidden Hecahands, it's ashed. And I'm just like, oh dear lord. I can't search now. That's okay. I reveal that card, special summon Brutus, and I'm trying to gamble once again. And I get Drone Lockbird. Then we contact for Jesus. This time we put him in defense mode. We're going to search for the best counter trap. Go for Nightmare Hands, then Yugioh. Since Yugioh was sent from the graveyard, we're going to set a Spell Trap Hecahands from the graveyard to the field. So unfortunately, we only got 2 interactions. There goes that. And they go for the Fallen Valdez play. And I negate it. And since I negate it, it comes to my side of the field. And this is where I realize, oh, they have that card. And I fuse to their best monster, Xeno. One Xeno's on the field. I'm gonna manipulate and get one of their monsters to the extra deck, thanks to Xeno. And then they run their Elfin Note play. I don't know anything about Elfin Notes. I just know that they're pretty good. But there was one fatal mistake that my opponent made, and you're about to see it right now. As soon as he starts synchro summoning to one of his best synchro monsters. So that card comes out, and a whole bunch of effects happens. And I figured, you know what, let me activate this effect for the first time because I don't know anything about it. Like, if I knew, I would have gone for something different because I gave my opponent Real Lockbird. Nah, but you know what, I don't think it would matter. Like, you'll see. Because I should have gotten the Elfin Note cards for Disruption. But since I didn't do that, this is what happens. He goes into that card. And then this is where he brings out Fallen of Albaz and realized one thing. Elfin Notes locked him out of the extra deck unless it's a synchro summon. Synchro summon. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say. My opponent locked himself out of the extra deck unless it's a synchro summon, and for him to bring out Fallen of Albaz, and the effect reads: if it's normal summoned or special, discard one card and fuse for a Brandon monster. And yeah, locked himself out. Locked himself out. And when you realize that, next, we're going up against a Blue Eyes player. Yeah, it was very strange. But I thought it was really funny because, well, I couldn't really go first. They went first. He brought out Kaiba Man, showed me his Blue Eyes, and brought out Blue Eyes, and then synchro for his semi-floodgate. Apparently, until their next turn, I can't target their dragons, and they can't be destroyed by an artifact. So I figured, alright, let me search for this. And then this happened. They Ash Gazelle. And I figured that's okay, because I'm going to go Chimera Fusion, and fuse Brutus and Gazelle for Perfect. When Perfect comes out, I'm going to do probably one of my best combos. So Chain Link 1, Chain Link 2 for Gazelle to search for an illusion monster. I grab Mirror Sword Knight. And for Perfect, I'm going to send Rhino's effect. I'm going to send Bile. And when that card's sent, I'm going to get Mutant in the Sky. I'm going to activate Mutant in the Sky. And I'm going to fuse for the Duke. And after that, I'm going to go for an immediate normal summon. I'm going to summon Mirror Sword Knight. And then I'm going to rank 6 for Goblin's Crazy Beast. And then I'm going to activate Mirror Sword Knight, bring out Big Wing Perfect, grab Chimera Fusion and Gazelle. And then I'm going to Chimera Fusion for probably the best starter, since they still have cards in their hand. Chimera, the king of mythical beasts. And Chain Link 1, Chain Link 2, we're going to special summon Brutus. And since Brutus is special summoned, we're going to try to get a card. And it's Polly. But that's okay. I'm going to grab this, go Iptis, bring out Gigas, and activate that. And we're going to summon Sage of White. Contact for Jesus. Jesus' effect. So we're going to grab that card. We're going to play Hidden Hecahands, remove Chimera for that card. I'm going to set that Stone Trap. And then I'm going to fuse for another good card, Dandalos. And I'm just gonna attack directly until Mirror Force happens. And then we're gonna activate Crazy Beast. We remove 2 materials, suck up 1. And since that happens, we're gonna activate Crazy Beast's other effect. Protect everybody. And I'm gonna set everything and send Polly to the grave. Now it's their turn. He activates the effect of Special Summon. I activate their best counter trap. And once I pop it, and then Special Summon it back to my side of the field, the effect activates, and they play. Oh yeah! And the last match I'm about to show off is probably one of my favorites because this opponent was playing Cool Tunes. And for everyone to tell me, oh yeah, it's the best deck in the format, you're right. So how did I beat this opponent? For starters, I'm gonna go that dude, I go Ash, and then by the time that effect gets negated, I activate JJ Cool Tune. Man, this field spell is pretty crazy. A Searcher, an extra normal summon. What more can you ask for? And after that, next will come out, and their new card, Rotary, will come out, and they'll synchro from the field and hand. And they also have some interesting effects too, where if they're used as single materials, their effects pop off. So that's all I know about it. So that happens, and they're gonna tear my deck apart. They move Chimera Fusion, so now I only have 2. Meanwhile, they set Ultimate Slayer on top of my deck. And then they fuse. They synchro. And we're gonna get more graveyard effects popping off. Especially Crackle. So Crazy Beast is gone. And Jesus. So that's what happened, man. And I drew into my Ultimate Slayer, and I figured let's just activate this thing. And then they go Cool Tune Synchro, which will allow them to synchro once again, since Crackle is a 2-4, I believe. Yeah. The effect of Ultimate Slayer. So we get C2B. Once that happens, this guy's effect will activate. And since he added, Giga's effect will kick in. And there's a lot of stuff that's happening. I was just like, oh my god, what is happening? Adding stuff back to the hand and synchro summoning. Jesus. And then I wasn't so sure if he was bringing out. So basically I was just learning things on the fly. And there goes Xeno and my second copy of Jesus. Right. Yeah. And they just keep going. It's like, shit, dude, how do I get through this? Pops it. Yeah, you see, my back is against the wall. It's like pretty bad. And there's Zane. That was like the one card that I was a little scared of. You just keep doing, just keep getting my deck apart. Comes this card. Attack Zane. And then I said. And then card effect comes in. And we get that card. And then I realized they had Super Poly. And I was like, oh man, come on. One of these Super Poly in, starting Venom Fusion Dragon. So that happens. And then, thankfully I have Ultimate Slayer. So activate Ultimate Slayer. I return Firing Venom Dragon. And then since I sent Garuga, I draw. Come on. And here comes Synchro, and I'm like, no, Ash. Thank God for Ash, dude. I was like, come on, dude. I need to draw something because if my opponent starts popping off, I'm screwed. And I figured I'm gonna have to do this. I get rid of Drill. I get Iptis. I set Tartarus. And that was pretty much it. Normal summon. And I use for Jesus, my only hope. And if I knew that was how that worked, I would have just waited a little longer. But thankfully, Jesus, or most of the Hecahands cards, have damage battle protection. So I was like, oh, thank God for that. And I drew Nightmare Hands, and I was like, oh, hell yeah. So I send Yugioh, so I could set Tartarus. And I guess that guy, he wants to get stuff too. Here comes Zane, and he synchros for probably the worst moment of my life. Baron the Fleur. That card is just scary. So at this point, I'm just thinking, alright, I have to do something because Zane's back on the field. Activate the effect, and I was surprised that my opponent didn't negate it. And when that happened, I was like, oh, maybe I still have a chance. All I have to do now is bait. So that happens. Activate the best counter trap to negate Baron. That way, they'll come to my side of the field. And here's Baron the Fleur. I was like, hell yeah. And then there goes Baron the Fleur. Hell no. And again, their beautiful battle protection. I was just like, oh, thank God. And I was telling myself, shit, what do I do now? Because they're about to bring out probably one of the best synchro monsters on my turn. Especially since I drew this. So I activated Jesus one more time to see what happens. And as soon as that happened, I grabbed this card and I was telling myself, okay, if I play my cards right, I could technically game them, but it depends on how this works because he has Zane. There's the Omni Negate bullshit card where you can start from either Chain Link 1 or the second effect. You can do a lot of stupid stuff. And then of course we got this card. We got this card, and there's one more card that is also an Omni Negate, but only if he banishes a cool tune from the graveyard. So you'll see it right now. So I activated Tartarus. Zane fell for the bait, so he negated that. And I was like, okay, cool. And then after that, it's coming. The synchros, you get RS. This is the monster. Pops a card. I summon. And then a lot of stuff is happening. It's like heavily breathing, going, oh man, am I gonna do this? Am I gonna do this? So here he comes, and I'm ready. And as soon as they negated Big Wing Burfmit, I was like, I got him. Because all I need to do now is synchro my infused man and Jesus to Dandalos, take control of RS, and attack for game. Haha, GG, motherfucker. Oh man, I was so hyped. I was really feeling myself when this match ended. I was like, yes, everything came into play, and I managed to overcome probably one of the hardest matches that I experienced in Master Duel. And that, everyone, is the end of the video. In conclusion, you know, like I said before, Hecahands, it's, you know, not that crazy, but it's also the same reason why I love this deck. When a plan comes together, it can be very rewarding to know that you got through it with this deck. But at the same time, when Konami made Illusion Monsters, they had something going, something that was different from most other archetypes. And even though there's a handful of illusion monsters, there's not a lot of good illusion monsters that pairs well with Hecahands. The only one that does is this guy, Mirror Sword Knight, and of course Nightmare Princess. Everything else, Hecahands, its own archetype, and I would love to see more support for this archetype, because you know, this is a pretty cool archetype. I like this archetype. And yeah, stealing cards from my opponent, that's awesome. No end of the turn BS. It's mine forever. And that's all I gotta say about Hecahands Chimera. And in real life, I've been grinding this deck for quite some time, and I feel like I can call myself a Hecahands expert. But then again, I'm always learning new things, learning new stuff about different variants of Hecahands, and it's quite impressive. The more stuff you learn, the more the deck starts to shine a bit. But of course, there's a lot of flaws, but I don't know, man. There's just something about this deck that I love a lot, and you know, thanks to Genesis, you know, this deck is able to shine a little brighter than it can in advance. But hey, if you've played Hecahands in advance, let me know in the comments, and maybe I'll give it a try, because in advanced format, it's considered rogue, and in Genesis, it's also considered rogue. So, I guess what I'm trying to say is, I didn't choose the rogue life. The rogue life chose me. Because I'm always playing these rogue-like decks, and yeah. Alright guys, enough yapping. I'll see you in the next one, because this coming week I'm going to regionals Las Vegas, and I still haven't decided what I want to play, but 80% is leaning towards Chimera Hecahands, and it's a big deal. Okay. This time it's for real. I'll see you guys later, and take care of yourselves, and drink lots of water. I'll see you later.